Hello and welcome to Cali Legends Media. I want to say thank you to everybody who subscribed recently. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below. Set that notification bell on all so you'll be notified whenever we do a new video or whenever we go live. And also hit that like button. It's a good way to support the channel. It doesn't cost anything. It's that thumbs up button that you see there on your phone. And it helps move the videos to the algorithm. It's really good for the channel. Just another way to support Cali Legends Media. Okay, so I wanted to do a video on kind of what's going on right now in CDC. I got a call from a homie that's on lockdown right now. And, you know, when you're in a level 3 or level 4 prison, and things are funny with the staff, with CDC, correctional officers, okay? When things are happening between the inmates and those officers, the officers make a big thing out of it, and probably rightfully so. Especially if they're getting assaulted in different prisons, in county jails, you know. Something must have happened between the inmates and the correction officers that take care of the incarcerated people for them to react this way. Because all the time that I've been doing time, you can't just go around stabbing or beating up staff or correctional officers, you know. There's different reasons for that, and I'm not going to get into it. But when it's happening in different prisons and across the board, something's going on. There's a root cause to this. Something caused this to begin happening and for it to continue to happen the way it has been. I was watching Hector Bravo before I left the house, and he was mentioning that it's been a couple of days already that they've been assaulting correctional officers in different facilities. And I remember being locked up one time when the raza was taking off on the juras, okay? It wasn't statewide. It wasn't, it was just in our prison, probably just in our yard that this was happening. But I remember when they'd come to feed us, look, if you're in a prison where there's a tray slot, they'll open up your tray slot, give you the food. They'll be real careful about it so you don't get a chance to throw anything at them or spear them. So they take those precautions. But when they got to crack your door open and hand you a tray, they come like 5 deep to your cell. One with a big old canister of a big old canister of mace, pepper spray. One of them has his foot and his hands on the back of the door so that when they open it from the front, it'll only open up so far because he has his foot there and he's holding that door closed and he's ready to slam it down on anybody who tries to come out, right? All of this stuff's going on during the feeding. The tray gets handed to you, and the doors quickly shut and secured. And even with those precautions, sometimes inmates get creative and manage to get to a CO or two. Even if they get sprayed, even if they get beat with batons or whatever, or jumped by all the juras, they don't care. If they got an assignment or a mission or intentions to do something, they're going to do it. Okay? So what's going on right now, I'm not sure if it's a reaction to something that COs did to somebody, or maybe it's because of this lockdown that they did, this locking down all the level 4s and slamming everybody down. You know, when inmates are treated unjustly, they react. Sometimes it's just something simple like flooding the buildings, you know. At a certain time, all the buildings will flood their building at the same time, where they, you know, they plug up the toilet and basically just flush the water and let the water run out of the toilet, out of their cell. They'll throw pieces of toilet paper in it so it could go down to the drains in the middle of the day room and plug up those drains and make a big old lake down there. You know, it looks like waterfalls going off the upper tiers. And it's a way to retaliate for being treated unfairly. Now, whatever the reason was for going about locking everybody down, you know, it's already been a while. So I know Hector Bravo says that it's because of this new prison model that the inmates are acting this way. I think there's more to it. Either the correction officers were being too hands-on, or they disrespected the wrong group of people, or something kicked it off, you know, because usually correction officers are protected in a way, you know. It's hands off unless they initiate it, you know. It's frowned upon for you to make unnecessary problems, you know. So if it's gotten so serious that it's been already 3 days with correction officers getting booked, getting still put to them, then yeah, this is bigger than just individual cases, in my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could find out, you know, if I really wanted to, but I don't. And I don't want to, even if I did, I wouldn't talk about it. It's just some food for thought. You know, it's something to think about, really. Usually things happen in prison in reaction to something else. You know, if everything stays the same and the status quo stays the same, nobody wants to rock the boat. You know, it's not beneficial for the inmates, and it's definitely not beneficial for staff. You know, and I'm sure it's shunned upon by CDC because it's extra work. It makes their job more dangerous. You know, it's no joke when correction officers are getting still put to them. You know, these guys got to go to work every day. This is their place of employment. They're not there being punished for something. They're there trying to make a living. And if their job becomes so dangerous that, you know, a simple encounter could lead to loss of life, you know, that's pretty serious. So CDC don't like correction officers causing problems like this. They'll probably get rid of them before anything else if they're a cause for something like this happening. You know, if they stepped out of line and went above and beyond their job to cause some type of problems with the inmates, there's usually ramifications for that. You know, officers will get sent to other prisons. They'll get removed from the situation. The same thing like an inmate that does something like that. You know, he'll get removed from the yard, maybe even the prison. You know. Anyways, it's just something to think about. You know, I mentioned in other videos that, you know, prisons getting more violent, more deadly, and And it is, not just for the inmates, for the correctional officers too, and it, I don't think it has anything to do with, a lot of people say, oh, it's because they let everybody out of the back, out of the bay and stuff, and out of Corcoran and Tehachapi shoes. I don't think it has anything to do with that, you know, because regardless whether or not they would have did that, if this was going to happen for as a reaction to some type of mistreatment or bad behavior on CDC's part, it was going to happen either way. It doesn't matter who's on the yard or not on the yard. If inmates feel a certain way about things are going to jump. Anyways, we'll see what happens in the next couple of days. See if there's any more situations like this. 3 days in a row is pretty wild. And over the past couple of months, there's been a lot of situations where correction officers are getting it. So that might be a big reason behind the lockdown, besides of all the unalivings that have been taking place in the different prisons, which really, seriously, in my opinion, I think has been happening all along. It's just that it's being reported more now, and there's a reason for that too. There's political reasons why everything's getting reported and recorded and made known to the public, because before, stuff was happening all the time in CDC and you'd never hear about it. Now you're hearing about every incident, and every incident gets blown up because of social media. So it's a different kind of a trend now. Anyways, this is my video for today. I'd like to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And I hope you enjoyed this little video. The content's just to make us think about things, and not only what's going on, but just to keep in mind that, man, we don't want to be in prison, in jail. A lot of people are getting out. They're getting another chance at life, and a lot of people are taking advantage of that and not going back. But on the other side of that coin, a lot of people are going in and not ever getting out because of things that are taking place behind the wall. But anytime you go in there, you could go in there even for a short period of time. You don't know if you're going to make it back out. The next day could be when you pick up a life sentence. You just don't know. So let's do what we can to stay out of places like that, and continue to enjoy this beautiful thing called freedom that's been given to us, and let's take advantage of it. Be here for our family and loved ones. Stay safe, people. Stay free. God bless you. God bless your family, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you very much.